What is this? The moment Johnny Sablably found out he's stuck in Korea for years. Uh-oh. Stinky.
Oh boy. So we just got out of the Johnny Somali October 29th trial date, and it's safe to say he's going to be stuck here for a lot longer. Obviously, Johnny has been facing 8 charges for a while now. 2 deepfake charges, 4 business disruption charges, and 2 misdemeanors. But
they take the AI stuff super seriously.
As we found out in last week's court date, Johnny ended up suing Yulman for assault with a baton, deepfakes, and stalking. Or, well, technically he was pressing charges against him. And I mean, that may or may have not happened because, you know, we have video of it. So they ended up settling that case, and in the settlement, they both dropped their charges on each other. So Johnny traded 3 charges dropped for 1 with Yulman. And there's no real reason for why that wouldn't be accepted, so we're just gonna assume that one of those deepfake charges are gone, leaving him with 7 charges left and a maximum sentence potential of roughly 12 years and a minimum sentence of 2 years. But there's one big problem for him, because they need the streamer by the name of Bong Bong to testify.
Yeah, the one that he did the deepfake with.
Politely, she doesn't care.
So today's trial, here's the 3 characters involved: Johnny, Bong Bong, and Yulman. Johnny needs no introduction anymore, as everyone knows him as the dude who acts like he has room temperature IQ. He's been harassing people on the street.
Needs no introduction, gives introduction. His editor's roasting him beyond the edit.
Abroad for content for a couple years now for quote-unquote fame and money.
Why are you bullying people in other countries? For money? Like,
how's that working out?
But in reality, he makes less than a minimum wage worker in the state of Georgia and lives in a bunk bed with the last person on earth who barely tolerates him, Hank Yu.
Oh no, I think they're lover boys.
Allegedly, Johnny owes him roughly $30,000 because he doesn't have any money and completely relies on Hank to live. Hank is also currently banned from the United States, but that's just like a whole nother story. This whole story, though, is just like the slowest and most dragged out train wreck that makes it very clear to never harass strangers on the street and disrespect people's cultures for your content, as clearly it backfired massively. Now, for the other 2. Yulman, we mentioned in my last video. He's one of the 4 Korean IRL streamers who wanted to make sure Johnny didn't harass more people for content. So they kept tabs on where he was, and when he acted out, they checked him multiple times. But the clip where Johnny ended up running for his life, that was Yulman, who disarmed Hank and chased them around with Hank's baton. And doing so while streaming was incredibly stupid, but then for some reason he decided to live stream himself throwing multiple bricks through the courthouse windows during the time South Korea was under martial law. So he ended up being tried alongside of 60
it was during the coup or whatever it was.
Other people in an expedited trial and thrown into prison. And this became massive leverage for Johnny, as they ended up settling last week after Johnny pressed charges against Yulman for the incident that we mentioned earlier, as they agreed to drop the charges on each other. Then finally, you have Bong Bong, a Korean streamer who's gained a following in the gutters of the internet, because from everything I've seen of her, something's off. But she decided to stream with Johnny last year. Instantly regretted it, because after the stream, he lied and bragged about them being together and showed the deepfake of them kissing on his stream while bragging. And what's important is he did so in a very humiliating way. He was like, haha, look at this, look at we did. What we'll later find out is he claims that he didn't do it in a humiliating way, but unfortunately he live streamed himself doing so. So because Johnny yet again is his own star witness against himself, it made it very easy for Bong Bong to go to the police station, press charges, and now this is a serious offense in Korea. And because of that one single charge, he's now facing a decade in prison over there.
I think that we should have that kind of law for, like, America. I'm not gonna lie. If you're gonna, like, deep fake yourself kissing and then claim statements, I think that it's already bad enough that you had the intent of, like, fake AI generating you kissing another person. The fact that you doubled down and didn't say it was fake and you fucking filmed yourself, I think that should be, like, grounds for, like, I don't know, a restraining order of some sort.
And that's what the trial we're covering today is all about.
But first, I want to talk about today's sponsor, Cooper. Because every year, shoppers miss out on billions of dollars in savings if they had just applied discount codes that are available to the public. The only problem, most people have no idea where to find them, and they often take time to find. And a certain app that did this back in the day, they're still facing lawsuits. And
I was about to say, is this honey or not? Like, is this different?
To be real, I feel like a lot of people still have honey PTSD from when they got caught replacing creators' referral codes and swapped them out with their own. And they did so when people were just trying to check to see if they had any available coupons. But thankfully, there's an honest coupon web extension called Coopert, and they do the same with a twist, and thankfully doesn't steal from your favorite creator. As Coopert is a free browser extension that automatically finds, tests, and applies the best working coupon codes at checkout, then gives users cash back for shopping through partnered stores. So Coopert offers three main ways to save money on your online purchases.
Copy.
First one being, Coopert automatically searches hundreds of thousands of websites to find you the best deal on products. Two, Coopert also runs coupon testing for over 3 million different retailers to make sure that you're actually buying the item at the lowest possible price. And finally, they offer a bunch of cashback rewards on tons of retailers, which you can withdraw directly into your bank account or on PayPal. So if that sounds like a win to you, you can join the millions of users who also use Coopert by clicking the link at the top of the description down below and adding it to your web browser. But other than that, we have a video to finish, so let's continue.
All right, so it's 11:55 in the morning, 29th of October, 2025. We're here in Seoul, South Korea, trying to get in some last-minute electrolytes. I completely forgot my glasses at home, so that's smart. So we're gonna be rocking without glasses today. Thankfully, I don't need them that much. We just need some coffee, and we're gonna cover this trial, and we'll be fine. Originally, we're supposed to have 3 testimonies today. It was supposed to be Johnny, Hank, and Bong Bong. But as we found out from watching Bong Bong's streams the other night, in quote, she said, "My lawyer told me I don't have to go. I don't care. I don't want to waste my time for Johnny Somali."
That's
okay.
fair.
But
That's
then,
valid.
obviously, someone said, "Hey, you might have to pay a 5 million won fine," which is roughly like, I think it's like $3,500 or something like that.
That's a lot.
So then she said, "I don't know. Maybe should just go. Worst case, just talk to lawyer. I heard you could submit a reason for your absence. Worst case, we need to get a flight."
This is apparently what she said on stream when she found out it was a bad idea that she traveled to Australia last minute.
The Johnny Somali trial testimony. I don't know. I'm talking to a lawyer, but they didn't answer. Lawyer said that I don't have to, but just in case I will go to airport. I don't know. Ah, it's so annoying.
What?
I think I don't have to, isn't it? Yeah,
She
I
has to
need
leave
to
the
pay the
country?
fine. If
I'm
I don't know, I
confused.
have to pay the fine or not. There is a paper, like absence paper. I can send the absence paper. They said a fine is 5,000 Australian dollar maximum. I think. I don't
That's
think I have to pay that
insane.
much for that. That's too much. Seriously, too much.
Like, it wasn't until after she found out she was committing a crime and could get hit with heavy fines that she realized, oh, this might be a bad idea. Okay. Yep.
Not the smartest bunch. Not the smartest, girl.
This entire
I
case
feel
just
like you
has a
should've
whole
thought
group of
about
fascinating
that.
people, to put it lightly.
So we got to court, and this is what happened according to our notes. At 1:51, the prosecutor enters the courtroom. All indications show that the prosecutor is intending to use the massive TV that is inside there, possibly to show evidence. However, if witness testimony is canceled, that might not happen. And shortly after, the bailiff started talking about calling Hank to see where he is. At 1:57 p.m., they're all setting up the monitor, connecting it to the computer. A second prosecutor is now in the room, making sure the setup is ready. The prosecutor plans to show the video. The bailiff then asks if any witnesses are in the room. Then shortly after, Johnny's lawyer peeks into the courtroom just like last time, checking if he's here, and then he leaves. So at 1:58 p.m., we find out that Youngman is actually in the building. So that's showing us that there's going to be a testimonial from him, even though they settled. At 1:59 p.m., Johnny and Hank and the lawyers enter the court and sit at the front row. Both are wearing black suits, and Johnny is carrying a smoothie or something like that. At 2 p.m.,
I'm surprised he didn't show up in a banana suit. I'm not gonna lie. I remember he crashed out and said he doesn't give a fuck anymore and he's gonna show up in whatever he wants. And now all of a sudden he's being super serious. Come on, she's the same streamer. Collab with Johnny Somali. She's not this smart. Yeah, but you can chalk it up to like a language barrier too. Like she doesn't know who he is. She doesn't know how much of a scumbag he is. Like, I don't know. I give people the benefit of the doubt.
the lawyer is consulting with the interpreter. And this time, we also notice that Korean press is here. Last time, they didn't show up. But just after 2, the judge enters the court, and the judge reads out the case number and calls Ramzi Khalid Ismail to the defendant's stand. Johnny carries a backpack and an empty Starbucks cup. At 2:03 p.m., Ramzi pulls out a pile of documents from his backpack. The lawyer is submitting his written opinion on evidence. This is basically just his argument for his innocence. And the judge receives it and glances at it. Because yesterday, the defense counsel submitted his opinion regarding the settlement. The judge asks the lawyer about the evidence, and the lawyer says the only new addition to the evidence is the settlement with Jungmann. The defendant denies charges of deepfake, saying there was no intent. He also claims that the materials cannot be used as humiliation. He admits the distribution, but denies that it can cause harm in the form of shame. The prosecutor then submits evidence. Witness Bong Bong is not present today, as we kind of expected, honestly, because, you know, she's in Australia. And apparently she sent in a formal request saying that she wanted to attend after about a month. Then at 2:11 p.m., the first witness, Jungmann, is going to take the stand. Jungmann chose to make his testimony private, so we won't be hearing his testimony. Hank apparently will also give a private testimony, and the courtroom has been cleared. We're all waiting outside at this point. Everyone left the courtroom, and this kind of left Hank hanging, like right outside the court door, and it seems like he requested to be put back into witness protection, which was kind of odd because, I mean, no one even went up to him. No one was trying to, like, clip farm him. I see no point in trying to clip farm Hank. There are speculations.
Well, they know that there will be repercussions for farming him for content. Like, in Korea, they don't fuck around with that kind of thing, as we've seen now. Again, I can't help but think this guy's so fucking dramatic and like, he's so spoiled and ratty and just a horrible person. Yeah, I want the taxpayers' money to waste it on me because I need protection. Like, yeah, are you sure? Whatever you do, whatever you say.
Is Jungmann is likely going to give a pretty neutral testimony that will neither help nor hurt Johnny, and we later found out that Jungmann is not the one who requested the private testimony, that it was actually the judge's decision. At 3:51 p.m., the courtroom is reopened to the public, and the testimony lasted approximately 1 hour and 40 minutes. The lawyer makes the 30-minute argument where Johnny essentially denies obstruction of business at Lotte World because Lotte World claimed that he stopped the ride for 30 minutes. In reality, it was like 10 to 15 minutes, so he just denies the whole claim, but he's already pleaded guilty to that charge, so it doesn't make sense why they're trying to negate it right now. The lawyer then also said that, hey, the Lotte World charges of the whole child harassment, that was dropped, so that should be taken into consideration as well, according to the attorney of Johnny. So Johnny's attorney is trying to paint him out as innocent because that charge was dropped. But then they scheduled the next hearing for February 11th, 2026. And then Johnny, before the court could leave, he stands up and asks the judge if he can do an expedited trial. And he wants essentially a speedy trial since he has family and obligations in America. And the judge immediately...
I don't believe that. That's funny because I remember his family saying they deserted him. Or like, what is it called? Like, disowned him? Yeah, disowned. That was the word.
Refused Johnny's request. So after the trial, I asked Johnny what his strategy was with all this, because all of this does not make sense. I don't understand why he's out here uploading videos of him actively harassing people in South Korea while he's currently on trial. But he wanted to do an actual interview. I don't want to give him an interview as he's already been interviewed a bunch. People know his story. They don't care about what he has to say. They just want to see the trial outcome. So I asked him to his face, like, why is he uploading videos on YouTube of him being disrespectful in Korea while he's in trial? But instead of giving me a straight answer, he just lashed out at me and insulted my family because it was obvious he was having an awful day and was trying to get some sort of reaction out of me. So hopefully he enjoys his extended stay out here in Korea, as his next trial date is out in February, so Merry Christmas. But I asked one of my legal connections out here why he wasn't eligible for the expedited trial, and this was his response. So he said these would normally be reserved for simple and straightforward cases in which the defendant pleads guilty. Johnny didn't plead guilty to all charges. He's trying to fight this, so that makes the whole process take infinitely longer. A vast majority of these cases are also where the defendant is caught red-handed in the act, witnessed by police, and is arrested on the spot, and obviously is pleading guilty. But also, high-profile, high-stake cases, such as these right here, could also be expedited. For example, Jungmann's trial was expedited because he was one of the people who decided to throw a few bricks through the courthouse windows. Along with the 62 others were actually charged. I don't know if 62 other people actually threw bricks through the courthouse window, but 62 people were charged in that case. And for that case, both of the above reasons applied, so it was easy to get an expedited trial for that. The riot took place in January and the trial started in March, and on August 1st, he was convicted. There were multiple court dates, roughly 8 to 10, but they were also spaced out by days instead of months. Johnny's claim of "I have family and other obligations" does not appear to be on that list of legally valid reasons to expedite a trial. Furthermore, the decision to expedite a case is determined...
Do you know what sucks about this whole thing is that there's a lot of language barrier problems where you'd need like outside court assistance help to like poke holes in Johnny's stories. Because he thinks that he can get away with it because, you know, not everybody's gonna sift through a bunch of clips and like translate them and this and that. I think it's stupid and I think it's unfair. I wish like they could take like not testimony but like evidence from like people sending it in. I know it wouldn't be like the correct thing to do, because it's after all, it is court. But at the same time, it's like, these people need help because they don't know what he's doing it. Andrew Esquid? Well, he's a lawyer, though. That's what I'm saying.
By a committee before the trial starts, and the case number assigned, because expedited trials have a...
I thought legal mindset was helping the prosecution with that. Yeah, but he can't be, like, doing everything. He's just one guy. I'm just saying.
Designated code attached to the case number. Expedited trials also require a panel of judges for fairness rather than one judge presiding over a case. And once a trial begins, it cannot be converted to an expedited trial. That is why they carefully make this determination before assigning the case number and proceeding to trial. So Johnny will now be stuck here for a while, and if Bong Bong doesn't show up for the next trial, it can be delayed for another 3 months, and so on and so on. And the judge, in response to Johnny's trial expedition request, was that other foreigner trials have been going on for over 2 years, and that he's not special, so he too will just have to wait. So I mean, this is just one massive warning to never harass innocent people on the street and disrespect people's culture for just views online, because clearly it is not worth it, and Johnny is in the process of very slowly finding out.
Also, happy Halloween. My son has me dressed up as a World War I fighter pilot, because he's also a little pilot himself. And I also wanted to quickly say this is basically your last chance to
wait, he has a son. That's so cute. What
get
the
the
fuck?
limited edition Matt City Halloween collection, which is on matt.city, and also the court sketch prints from the first time we went to the Johnny Somali trial. Both of those links will be in the top pinned comment, and they will be gone forever in just a few days, so if you want them, you can get them now. But other than that, thank you guys so much for the support. I'm now finally back home again, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, because we're just locking back in, continuing daily content.
So hey, subscribe if you're new, drop a like on this video if you want me to travel back out to South Korea again, and thank you so much to Cooper for sponsoring this video. As you
poor kid, you can fuck off. Go
can check them out in the top of the description down below, and start saving your money on your online shopping today. But other than that, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.
God damn it, dude. I hate people that fucking do that. Poor kid. Yeah, fuck off. You can go apologize in the unban. Testing my patience. Jesus Christ. He did it on purpose. Anyway, love the guy. Very, very informative. Goes to every single trial so that he can be the first one there to, like, be there on top of the info. Go check him out. I had no idea he had a child. I guess he doesn't really bring it up. I didn't know. When he does the car mask, I don't know if he did that before or after he had a kid, but anyway, yeah, pretty cool.